Hello again, everyone. Chugging along toward the end of Pixel Perfect Day 1. We are going to get into some platformer gameplay with a misfit mascot of sorts. And who better to run this game than somebody I've seen run this game quite a few times at this point, than Mr. Nick R.P. Green, who will be taking us through Klonoa 2, Lunatea's Veil, any percent normal support mode. Take it away, Nick.
Thank you very much, Cara. Hello, everyone. I hope you've all been enjoying Pixel Perfect Marathon 4. It's been an absolute blast so far. The runs have been amazing. But now it is time to do my duty as a staff member to represent and put in our own speedrun as well. This is Klonoa 2, Lunatea's Veil. So this is a game that was originally released on the PlayStation 2 back in 2001. I've been playing the game since release. I've been speedrunning this game for about 12 years on and off. And the category we're doing is normal, any percent normal support. So any percent, obviously, just complete the game as quick as possible. Normal is the difficulty that we're going to be running. And the reason why we run normal difficulty is because originally, when this game was released on the PlayStation 2, it didn't have difficulties. It was just the game. And normal difficulty on this remaster, the Fantasy Reverie series that came out a couple of years ago, normal difficulty that matches the PlayStation 2 original version. Easier is much easier, and harder is a one-hit KO run, which I have done. It's not very marathon safe. And then finally, support mode. I'll explain a bit more about support mode once we get into it, but it's a really interesting mechanic. It was present in the PS2 version as well. But we're going to get started, and time is going to start the moment I take control of Klonoa in the first level. The game does have its own IGT, so we go against that. So as soon as that IGT starts is when it starts. So let's do this in 3, 2, 1, go! And we are off. One of the adorable things about the remaster of the Fantasy Reverie series is it gave Klonoa a bunch of different costumes. And the one I have selected for this run is, as you can see, is the Pac-Man mask. This is a game made by Bandai Namco. So a lot of the costumes reference other games in the Bandai Namco catalog. So Pac-Man, I Love Katamari. That drum game, whatever that really weird like Japanese drum game is, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, so there's different costumes for those, and there's other special costumes. One of the other things that the Reverie series does is it packages a remaster a remake of Klonoa 1. Daughter Phantomile as well. It was originally remade for the Wii, and the version on here is based on the Wii remake. So I said remake remaster. Technically, it is a remaster of the Wii version. Which the Wii version wasn't very well received, but the Fantasy Reverie version of Klonoa 1 is very, very popular. It's far more popular speedrun than Klonoa 2 is. So we're just making our way through the first level. You'll have already seen some of the wonderful and unique mechanics that this platformer has. So the main deal with this game is that Klonoa has what's called a wind bullet. Every time I fire, it fires a shot out of his ring, and he can use that to grab enemies and then reuse those enemies in different ways depending on what enemy he grabs. Early on in the game, as we start progressing through first of all, you'll see that it is mainly used to give ourselves a little bit of a jump boost. Oops, push the wrong button there, and there we go. So that is the support mode function. The little dog that's following me, his name is Popka, and Popka is going to be helping us throughout our journey. On the PS2 version originally, and actually on the Fantasy Reverie series as well, Popka is controlled using a second controller. The idea being that, you know, when you were playing the game, you got your little brother or sister to plug in the second controller. They push start, and then every time they push the attack button, they can use it to give you a boost up in the air. This is really useful for speedrunning. It adds a few different mechanics and a few different opportunities to break the game in a couple of cases. There will be a couple of skips that I'll be doing with this run. There's one really crazy out of bounds skip that not too long ago got discovered. Unfortunately, it's not one that I've been able to perform myself, so I won't be doing it. But it is really cool. The Klonoa community is an absolutely lovely community. It's I don't spend too much time in there. I should spend more time in there because they are absolutely lovely. I did also write the auto splitter for this version of the game. I love writing auto splitters. It's one of my it's something that I've really enjoyed learning and doing as I've become a speedrunner. So far, I've written 1, 2, 3, 4 auto splitters to date, including this one. I had a lot of help with this one. This game is the remaster is built in Unity, and Unity is a bit funky, but it works. It's good. I'm going to use Popka here to just avoid a lot of waiting around. Any time where usually you'd have to use an enemy to jump up, or you're waiting for something that would give you height, we can just use Popka to get past that. It does add a really useful time save to the run. I think the difference between a support mode run and a non-support mode run, it's a good 5 to 10 minutes. So that there we can use him to jump over the giant shark so that it doesn't hit me and I don't have to waste any time. So any time we have an opportunity to use Popka to prevent slowdown is his main function. As I say, there are some of those really special moments that we'll see a little later in the run. It's pretty free and easy as we get started. We do have a really fun use of him here. Just need to throw that, grab that, and we're going to abuse the 2.5D nature of the game to get up a lot quicker than we were supposed to. So the game is, as I say, it's in 2.5D. So we play on a 2D plane, but we can interact with the 3D environment, a bit like Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot's probably one of the more famous 2.5D games, but just not quite in the same way as Klonoa. So any opportunity we have where there is a ledge above us that usually you'd have to go around, but I'm going to do it again here actually. I'm going to grab this moo and we're just going to jump up here like this. And then use Popka to get up here, grab that moo, throw it over to the worm there. Here, I'm just going to wait for that little bird to drop down there. Waiting for him to drop down means another one is going to spawn, and I can grab him and take him into the next room. Just speeds up the next room just a little bit. And here's some actual intended use of the 2.5D in this game, throwing moves across the environment to interact with elements in the background. It's a really, really neat concept, and it doesn't take away from the game's simplicity. It's one of the things that I fell in love with this game in the first place. It's very, very simple. There's only two real moves, if you ignore Popka, of course. There's only two real moves: jump and shoot. Jump, you can also do a little wiggle to keep yourself in the air just a little bit longer. We don't use that very often because it's slow. And then, as I say, the big mechanic is the use of different enemies. At the moment, we haven't really seen much of the different enemies available. We will see more throughout. We've got our first boss. This is Fulguran, the Armor Beasts. And he's got a massive glowing weak spot that I've got to try and hit. That's 2 hits. That's a really nice move spawn. That's another real... Oh, but Fulguran did not land with his butt in my face. Oh, that was also not a great shot. Let's go find another move there. Gonna have to wait for him to spin. There we go. So he's gonna go into phase 2. He's a little more angry, as you can see. Grab some flying moves now, and we're going to throw some flying moves at his butt. Oh, he was just a little too fast for me there. That was mean. Come on, Fulguran, play nice. grab another flying moo. Not really in a great position there. And throw him there. Yeah, showing off that Pac-Man hat really nicely here. And one more hit, and we are done. That is Folgeran defeated. And this is a very typical boss style, this idea of the boss being in the center of an arena, we can roam around the outside. That is our main antagonist, Lirina, and her assistant, Tat. We're going to be seeing a lot of Tat in the next couple of levels. But now we need to go back to Baguji. It's this center island on the world map. I have already been to it once before. It's not a level. It's just a cutscene where we go and see Baguji, the wise mage, who basically just tells us where to go and what to do. So we're now going to head into the next kingdom. The whole game is split into several kingdoms, and each kingdom represents a different emotion. So this is Joliant, and Joliant is the kingdom of joy, of fun, of laughter. It is basically one giant amusement park. We get a choice as to which level we want to do first, and we're going to go and do the jungle slider. This introduces the slider levels in the game. Wow! Hello, Popka. So this is one of the other major things that we're going to see. There's quite a few of these levels and a couple of bosses that take place on this surf/snow/sand board. A bit of a spoiler there as to the kind of levels we're going to see Klonoa take on whilst riding this later on. The first one, very straightforward. There's not too much that really throws in our way, because it's we do now get to do a bit of 3D movement. I say 3D, it's still 2.5D, it's just facing the other way. So now we're actually going to go into this phase here with the fish, where we're going to move from left to right. I'm constantly holding the button that corresponds to whichever direction Klonoa is facing, because Klonoa does move a little bit faster with it. Now I'm going to seamlessly transfer back into the side scroll. I'm going to jump over that because we don't want to grab that. Jump over another one of those, get some health, some gems, and next room. As I say, the first jungle slider level isn't overly complicated. The second one, again, it's not so bad, and the third one throws a little bit of a spanner at you, but it's not too bad. It's the fourth one that really ups the difficulty, and the difficulty curve of this game is something I'll talk a lot more later towards the end of the run. The difficulty curve of this game is really, really well designed. The early levels are very straightforward. And it really gets you to understand the mechanics, and it doesn't throw too much at you at once. Now, if anyone owned a PS2, I know we're going back quite a few years. 2001, we're in 2024, so we're going back 23 years. I've been playing this game for 23 years. I'm playing this game nearly half my life. Not nearly half my life. I'm not that old. I'm not in my 40s just yet. Being a new dad makes you feel like you're in your 40s, but I'm not in my 40s just yet. But if anyone had a PS2, you may remember one of those very, very special things that you got with your PS2 when you first bought it. Remember the excitement of opening up the box and cracking out the console, and in there was that special demo disc. We all remember the demo discs, right? I mean, for me, Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS1 demo, that was, the demo. That was the one that everyone had and everyone loved. But for the PS2 had some great demos too. And for me, Klonoa 2 was on the demo disc. You got to play a decent chunk of this level and a decent chunk of the first level that we did, the Sea of Tears. And I really liked the game when I played the demo. It was fun. I played it quite a bit. It was actually my mother who played the game a lot. She loved the demo, and one day she found the game in I assume she found it in a supermarket. I never actually asked her where she got it from, because Klonoa 2 is a little bit of an obscure game. It's not very well known. It didn't sell overly well, but it did receive quite critical acclaim at the time. So yeah, it was my mother who bought the game for us, and we all played on it. And then this was the first game I ever learnt to speedrun. When I finally decided, GDQ's been on, I'm gonna be a speedrunner. I'm gonna do it. I learnt Klonoa 2, and here I am 12 years later, still speedrunning the game, but thankfully speedrunning it on the PC. The PS2 version is a little bit of a pain. Everyone has issues with the PS2 version of this game because you won't really see it here. We're going to completely ignore that tutorial and just use Popka to get up here. Oh, we're going to abuse the 2.5D again. We're going to grab this move, jump up. Oh, I think I set a couple of my buttons the wrong way around, and I'm muscle memory is failing me. There we go. So again, using the 2.5D and just completely abusing it. Do that again here. Sorry, not do that again here. We're going to use Popka to completely ignore some of the mechanic there. This level here in Joliant Fun Park, this is going to start teaching us about puzzles, because this is a puzzle game as well. There's plenty of puzzles throughout the game. We're going to learn all about switches and time switches and other cool mechanics like that. Fly down, grab the helicopter. All of the enemies have specific names, and I can't remember all of them. I just call that one the helicopter, or the heli. No, there's a big looming gate up there. What theme park would be complete without a spooky ghost mansion? I was going to say ghost train, but it's not really a ghost train. It's a ghost mansion. So we're going to head into the ghost mansion with a creek. Ooh, it's all very, very spooky. Gonna get onto that platform there. Grab one of those. These are Momet dolls. There are 6 to collect in every level, and collecting all 6 awards you with a doll at the end. They're used to unlock 2 bonus levels and some other bonus stuff like soundtrack, boss fights, things like that. They are required in an all visions or 100% run. See, that's not what this run is, so I don't need to collect them, but it's there. I thought I'd mention it. Get through this room. We start getting some really, really... Oh, don't fail me now, Heli! We start to really appreciate the soundtrack of this this game. The main time where we're gonna jump up there, grab him, and beat that puzzle. So these are timed blocks. Time switches. So we have to activate all of them at the same time. Grab a checkpoint just to be on the safe side. We should be fine, but it's always good to play it safe. Again, use Popka, completely ignore the mechanic of the room, and we can do the exact same thing here. I'm gonna jump. Oh, well, I was gonna do that, but we'll do that instead. Throw, kick, and hit, and that's the door. Back outside, we've got another helicopter. Watch out for the sharks. And we've got a mini boss now. And in the original game, the original PS2 games, the bosses didn't have names. So when they did the remaster, they had to give them names. And I think they kind of got a bit lazy with this one and just went, well, it's kind of like a ghost and it's got balloons, so we're going to call it Ghost Balloons. Which is a really dumb name. Ghost Balloons was Tat all along. There's Tat. Off he goes. Now, you may notice that Tat is currently white, whereas when we've seen it in the past, it may have been black. It may have been black and white. Tat has the ability to split into 2 different versions of itself. And we gained an element from ringing a bell earlier. It's a very weird story. But Tat stole the element and then split into 2, ran off into different sections of the park, and we're chasing both of them down. It doesn't matter which level you go to first. We had the choice of whether we came here or went to the jungle slider first. Doesn't matter which one you do first. The other Tat always has the elements. You always have to do both of the levels. So now we're going to go and catch Tat again. We caught Tat in the jungle slider level. Now it's time to go and catch Tat over here on this funky looking fairground ride. You can't escape now. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. We can also throw Tat afterwards. So we got the real McCoy this time, as Klonoa exclaims. We have our element back. and we can go and ring the bell in Joliant to get the next element. We're trying to collect all of the elements because there's trouble in the world, and the elements will make it whole. It's something along those lines. And now we have our next boss. This is Leptio the Flower Clown. Leptio has the honor of being my favorite and least favorite boss at the same time. As a concept and as a character, I love Leptio. I think his design's amazing. The sound and everything. The boss fight itself is a real pain, though. It's really annoying. Jump over from there. Oh, don't jump back. Oh, that's bad. That's unfortunately a bit of a time loss there. He's going to repeat his initial attack. I need to get over here. The one that's spinning is the real one. That was not the best throw. There we go. And we move into phase 2. I'm going to try for a very, very tricky grab here. Oh, didn't quite grab it. If you, it's not exactly frame perfect, but if you can grab one of those moves just as they're about to despawn, you'll keep it. If you grab it before they despawn, then it disappears in your hand. And it just means that you already have a move straight away as you move into the second section. So we're just going to throw a move at this big contraption that Leptio is now in, and then throw another move across the arena to knock him over. We're going to do this 3 times. I'm going to stand next to the other move, and throw, and grab, and throw. One more time. Now's a really good time to talk about RNG. So in the normal levels, there is no RNG in the game. Every single enemy's pattern is predetermined. They're all on cycles, and there's no RNG at all. The bosses, completely the opposite. Every single boss is subject to RNG, mainly with where exactly enemies that you're going to throw spawn. We have now defeated Leptio, and we can move on to the next. We can move on to the next kingdom after we've gone back to Bagashi once again. I've unlocked the Mummet House. That's where all the bonus content's kept. We're not gonna go there. And we're now going to head to the next kingdom. This is the kingdom of Volk, and complete polar opposite from Joliant. Volk is the kingdom of war. The citizens of Volk are always at war with each other. Nobody knows why. There's just a war that's constantly raged on. And we're going to see a lot of that war. Again, we get an option as to which level we go to first. We're going to go to Volk City first. The idea here being that in the Volk Town Hall, the crew have come across the arena, and she's got this machine, and she's got her own ring. It seems like she's trying to create her own wind ring. And so she's sucking out all of the power from the town, and it is our job to go and switch off the power generators, the 2 power generators, one in the city and one in the underground factory. And taking out both of those will stop her machine. So that's what we're going to go and do. I talked about the music earlier, and this is really where the music starts to come into its own. I absolutely adore the jazzy nature of Volk. It's a really adorable soundtrack, and it's dynamic as well. The music will change. At the moment, I'm underground in the sewers. We're about to go up onto the streets, and just listen to how the music dynamically shifts. It's an absolutely beautiful soundtrack throughout. I do sometimes just whack the soundtrack on YouTube and just have a listen. It always makes me smile. A lot of the tracks really get me bopping. We got a couple of absolute killer tracks later in the run, so I do hope you are enjoying the music and the tunes as well. So I can't help myself but just enjoy it and dance along. Such a good soundtrack. I'm going to keep coming back to the soundtrack and keep talking about it, because it just always there's no bad track in the game at all. We'll go back down into the sewer now. We're going to be introduced to our next type of enemy. This is the Urbil. He's like an electric enemy, and he allows us to do a big charged shot up into the air like that. We could do it again there, but I was about to say it's quicker to just use Popka, but only if I get the height right. And then we'll use this Jetoid. Fly high into the air. Need to grab this guy. Watch out for that. Again, break through these blocks. And out into the next room. I talked earlier about the PS2 version, it being a bit of a pain to speedrun. The issue with the PlayStation 2 version, particularly the European version, which obviously I played because I'm from the UK, the game is one of the few PlayStation 2 games that in Europe allowed you to play either in 50 or 60 hertz. The game runs, I can't remember the exact speed difference, but the game runs faster in 60 hertz than it does in 50. So it's obviously we're encouraged to play in 60 hertz instead of 50. It's about 9 years of speedrunning this game until I learned that fact. So yeah, the first time I ever did a run in 60 hertz, I saved 20 minutes automatically. It was insane. But one of the problems that the game has is differing resolutions. For some reason, whenever Klonoa goes through a loading screen, the resolution of the game shifts. And as you can probably imagine, modern TVs don't like that, particularly with the resolution being 480, 360. I'm not sure exactly what the resolutions were at the time. But yeah, the resolution changes as you go through a loading screen, and on a lot of modern capture cards, that's a real problem. They don't like dynamically changing refresh rates. So it means you'd go into a loading screen, and as you first went into it, your capture card would go black as it shifted the resolution. Then it would have the loading screen, which took a little bit longer on PS2, and then you'd come out the other side and it would have to switch back. And the amount of time it took to shift was longer than the loading screen itself. So you'd end up in the next room with a black screen, and you'd have maybe the first second or two, you wouldn't be able to see what you're doing. It became a real problem. I used to have, actually I do still have it, I don't use it at all because Klonoa is the only thing I used it for. I used to have an analog capture card, which was the only way I could do it. It meant I had to use a very specific TV setup. It was horrible. So it was a Nintendo Direct. They first announced the Fantasy Reverie series, and it was a dream come true. When they announced it, I was like, yes, finally we get a native PC version of this game to run. So that was Volk City. We've turned off the first generator. We now need to head into the underground factory and turn off the second. And hopefully, if this goes well, we're going to see a couple of really cool glitches. The first is the super jump, or the super bounce. Whee! Just like that. So the super bounce, the game gives you 2 buttons for both jumping and shooting. I need to do this trick now, so I'm going to concentrate on this. I need to hit that spring without... I need to do a super bounce. Come on. There we go. Hopefully I've got this right. Wiggle and fall through the floor. And no! Unfortunately, there is no death plane at the bottom, so I just need to do a quick retry. So because of the way the loading of the environment works in this game, there's a lot of areas which only load when Klonoa touches a piece of floor. We're going to use this trick quite a few times throughout this level. I'm going to have to wait for one of these to drop down. We will try this again. So we use Popka to get up there. A super bounce. I've got to get a super bounce. So the super bounce, there we go. I actually overshot it, so I'm going to just stop there. Wiggle. There we go. And that saves about 20 seconds. Obviously, that didn't save as much time because it did take me 2 attempts. But yeah, the super bounce is performed by pushing both jump buttons exactly the same time whilst on a trampoline. And then because of the way that the geometry loads, as I say, it loads when Klonoa hits certain parts of the floor. And in the case of that section of geometry, it was the bit just before the bounce pad. You can reuse some of these moves. I'm actually going to use the same thing again here. So I'm going to jump up here. I'm going to jump up here. I'm going to do a big wiggle over there. Is that? Oh, that didn't work. Never mind. So there's another one there. There's a door to the right. Oh crud! I haven't got the boomy that I need to throw over here now. There's a door to my right, but that door only spawns if you touch a piece of floor that I was walking across just a second ago. So you should try and use a move. I think I know where I went wrong with that skip. So it lose a little bit of time as that glitch didn't work. Because once it's done, once you've spawned the door, you can't unspawn it. Not without taking a death and reloading the checkpoint, which of course we don't want to do. I'm going to just move on. So we've got the key. Yes, this level also introduces us to keys. I'm going to throw the key. I'm going to use Popka to interrupt Klonoa's key animation. Saves a very, very small amount of time. It's actually a marathon-only trick, is the key interrupt. The IGT that's in the bottom right-hand corner is what we use to time the game. And the IGT only ticks. I've made a slight error there. Just going to wait for that to explode before I throw that one. Because that shouldn't really lose me any time. I don't actually need this one. That shouldn't lose me any time. I've got to wait for this this boomy that I threw to explode anyway. So actually, I didn't lose any time at all there. We'd have had to wait for the boomy to explode. We can use the key interrupt again here. There we go. And we get through the door. So I was saying that it's a marathon-only trick. So the IGT that's in the bottom right-hand corner, which is what we time the speedruns from, only ticks while you are in direct control of Klonoa. So whenever you go through a door... Oh, I got another trick I'm going to do here. Use both the analog stick and the D-pad at the same time to push my way under that pipe whilst carrying this move. Allows me just to skip breaking all of those boxes. It's a little bit quicker. We're now going to go into this little on-rails section. So, as I was saying before... What was I saying before? I was talking about some sort of trick or skip, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was I was talking about. Pac-Man hat, yeah, Pac-Man hat. What was I talking about? No, I've completely lost it. Completely lost my trail of thought. Just gonna keep shooting. We're coming up to our next mini boss, by the way. We're gonna go up against Tatbot, which I like to think is a nice little tribute to Tazbot, but I have no proof of that. It's my own headcanon. So here is Super Tatbot. So Tatbot is going to spawn these little. Just got to try and find one I want to shoot. There we go. And we just throw moves at them again, completely random as to where these spawn. Just need... Oh, just managed to hit that one before it dropped down. That wasn't too bad of a Tatbot. Can continue on through the rest of this level. Gotcha. I know what I was talking about. I was talking about the IGT. So yeah, the IGT only ticks whilst you're in direct control of Klonoa. Any moment where you do not have direct control, so that could be a loading screen, during the menus, the IGT doesn't tick during the menus. It could also include, move over a little bit there to make sure that a cannon spawns at the top. Like that cannon there. Cannons, for example. Whilst I'm flying through the air in this cannon, you'll see that the timer is currently paused because I do not have direct control over Klonoa. Opening a door with the key also pauses the timer because, again, the Klonoa is stopped. There is an animation that plays. So we want the IGT to pause at that moment. However, because this is a marathon run, and technically I'm running against RTA, it's quicker to do the skip. It's such a minor thing, like it's half a second, if that. But it's always, I always find it interesting when you can find these sort of things that you would do in a marathon or you wouldn't do in a normal run. So can we get a super bounce? Come on, super bounce, okay, fine. Just do that. I don't know why I didn't just use that in the first place. It's just because I like the super bounce. Super bounce. And that is the end of the underground factory. So we now have turned off both machines. We can go back to the town hall and shut down Lee Arena's machine. I'm sure there's not going to be a boss there that's going to get in our way. Oh, I spoke too soon. Say hello to Mobile Tank Biscash. Really cool boss. One of the only bosses that doesn't really have any RNGs. There's a little bit with some of his attack patterns, but his movement and the way he attacks are always the same. But it's a really cool boss in the way that we use these trampolines to fly up in the air and throw a move down at him. There we go. We've got one more hit before we move into phase 2. And I'm going to try a trick in phase 2. It's a bit risky, where I throw... Oh, that's so close. If that is thrown exactly right, you can hit the tank across the room. There is another opportunity to do it, so I will give it a go, because it looks cool if I can land it. So we'll try it again, wait for him to start moving. Yeah, there we go. That was it, that was lovely. One more hit, and the tank is defeated with an almighty kaboom. Kaboom! Good job, Klonoa. So we've defeated the Mobile Tank Biscash, we've shut down Lee Arena's machine, but oh no. You can see there that there's a big cooling tower. That is presumably a nuclear power plant, and we just turned off the city's power. We now go into Vulcan Inferno. Vulcan Inferno is a repeat of Volk City, but the level has changed somewhat, and this is one of the things that Klonoa does very, very well. We kind of have backtracking. We do some levels multiple times, but each time we redo that level, we'll only ever do the same level twice. But when we return to that level, it has significantly changed. So it never feels like it's the same level again. So you can see now, the first time we went through Volk City, we slid down this platform. Now it's on fire, so we need to go and switch at least one of the electricity units back on to stop a meltdown, because otherwise the whole city is going to be in a lot of trouble. And a lot of the retracing of these levels, I say that they're different. They do tend to add a very specific mechanic to the level that really does make it different. I'm not going to say what the mechanic of this level is, because it's going to be really, really obvious in about 30 seconds. Because you remember how we destroyed the Mobile Tank Biscash? Yeah, unfortunately, it's not dead, and we have to run! So we are now chased by the remains of the Mobile Tank as he seeks his revenge. I mean, it's just a programmable robot. I don't think it understands what revenge is, but that's a whole philosophy story, I imagine, that has been tackled in many films. We can use Popka to avoid a lot of the traversal and skip through it pretty quickly. The tank catching up there is an intended catch up, but I can very quickly get away from it again. We'll just keep moving right. Grab some gems just to be on the safe side. Can we get a super bounce? Oh, super bounce! Lovely. Again, super bounce plus Popka completely skip over a load of that. But it's okay, we got away from the tank. It's definitely not coming back. definitely trust me. You can trust me. The tank's not coming back. The tank's coming back. Oh, okay, that worked out quite well. Jumping straight into this Jetimo and taking a hit there actually worked in my favour to grab it. Oh, let's not get hit by you. Up we go. And we're slowly making our way back outside. I wonder what we might find outside. No! I said you could trust me. There's no more tank. Oh, it's the tank again. Oh, well, I guess we better run again. It's gonna... There's that little wiggle. And we're gonna do our very best to get as far away from it as possible very quickly. Nice little skip here where we just do a little wiggle to reach that next jump pad straight away. And we can avoid that second jump pad. I'm gonna just do a very little slight wiggle. The teeny tiniest wiggle just to make sure I land on that platform. There he is, our boy. He looks good in that Pac-Man hat. Really helps show off his ears. And make our way again across a bunch of these platforms. Woo, bump. That one I am going to drop down to. I don't think I'd have made that. Oh, no, I do need that platform. And bounce. And bounce. And popka. And land. Luckily, there's no fall damage in the game. Also, we can fall off the level. There are death pits, but there's no fall damage in the game. Klonoa uses his big floppy ears to slow his descent. That's how he can manage all of these wonderful dives and jumps. And I was hoping I'd get a super bounce from that one. The super bounce is a very precise trick. You do have to hit both jump inputs at exactly the same time in order to land it. And due to muscle memory and me always doing it that way, my two jump buttons are X and triangle, which are kind of awkward because it means I have to use two fingers, but like after so many years of playing the game, it would be awkward to swap them over. We are now at the end of the level. You may remember we flew up here, got on the train. Unfortunately, the train is going to come, but the tank is going to come in the other direction, and Chloe is going to heroically leap out of the way and get to the switches unharmed. But that's it. We are now done with Volk. We're going to go once again back to Bagaji to learn what to do next. The next kingdom we are going to head to is that kingdom off in the top left-hand corner, which is the kingdom of Mira Mira. Which is the kingdom of mystery and confusion and memories. Very, very important. It is the kingdom of memories. But first, we've got to get there. There's a big lake, and Ishra's Ark is going to be our mode of transportation. Ishra's Ark is a very, very puzzle-heavy level. It introduces another new enemy, which is probably one of the most unique puzzle mechanics I've ever had the joy of playing in a game. I'll grab this Jetimo, fly high up into the air, and after I said the pacing of the difficulty is really good, but the way the game shifts between different atmospheres is also lovely. We've had this very, very panicky area of Volk. You know, it's been people have been warring. There's been explosions. There's been a giant robot. But now we move into this very, very peaceful and serene, organic boat. You know, the boat is kind of alive. And it's a lovely shifting gear. And we're now introduced to the Laquari. The Laquari does that. It's pretty self-explanatory. But you can throw the Laquari. I don't know why I went for that coin. You can throw the Laquari multiple times. Every time you hit a new enemy with the Laquari, it changes to a different color. So we're going to do that here. We've got a blue crystal to get past, and a blue crystal requires 2 enemies to be hit. So 1 enemy is yellow, 2 enemies are blue, and 3 enemies are red. Any further enemies just continue for it to be red. Very, very precise Popka jump there. Didn't grab it. So I'm just going to wait here for him to respawn. There we go. So now we've got our first red crystal. So we're going to pop that Laquari onto him, then onto the flying moo, and then finally onto that one. And we now have the biggest skip of the game. It might take me a couple of attempts. We're going to use Popka to get over to this flying moo, take a bit of damage, and hopefully, nope, okay. That's fine, the checkpoint was right there. And yes! Nice! So just wait for Popka, jump, use Popka to jump up there. We should not be able to get up here this early. That was nice. Two attempts for that trick is really good. That trick has saved about 5 to 6 minutes. We've got a key. We were supposed to use that key to go back to an engine room where we would power up the engine. That powering up of the engine would start turning the windmill that I was stood on, and then we'd be able to get up to that platform. But that little trick there, as I say, saves about 5 minutes. And avoids us going to the engine. Unfortunately, each key is coded to its own door. So there's a door just to the left down in that pit that I've just come out of. Unfortunately, it won't open with this key. It has to be opened with the key that I've just grabbed there. So we run up, grab that key, fly back down. Whee! Grab some health, and again, we'll interrupt the unlocking of the door. And now we head into Engine Room 2. So this is what the first engine room would have looked like. And this uses a Laquari to power it. We grab a Laquari, turn it red, and then throw it into the engine. So hop over here, grab him, throw at that enemy. I'm going to pop over to here, hop on that enemy, back to here, throw at that enemy, and there we go. So that now sort of charges and powers the engine. Now we just need to actually switch it on. So we'll head back and fly up out of that pit that I was in a second ago. Grab a Jetimo. And going up. So we're gonna wait for the platform there, so I can grab that guy, throw him at. Oh, I missed. Wait again. Come on. Right, don't miss again. That's better. Fly up here, grab that one because it's a bit easier to grab that one and throw him. No. Whoa. Got hit by the explosion of that cannon moo. So, throw. I've missed him. Oh, come on, Nick. Come on. Grab. Throw. There we go. There we go. We got him. The game kind of wants you to grab the other flying move. It's really slow. You have to wait for the carousel to sort of go up and around. Got to be careful here. Do not want to take a death from that platform there because that's a big time loss. If we get a death there. So we're going to be back outside. Oh, I've got... Oh, hang on. There we go, got there eventually. And now we're going to head over to Engine Room 3. This will be the last engine room of this area. Switch that on, go find the switch, and then that will be the end of Ishra's arc. Or will it? It will be for now. Ishra's arc is one of the levels that we will be returning to in a bit. Again, using Popka, whenever we have the opportunity to use Popka just to ignore one of the environmental mechanics, it makes life a little bit easier. cannon over to the other side of the room. We're going to do a big loop for this one. Takes a little bit of getting around. And Popka. Grab that one. Over here. Don't actually need that Urbil, but we grabbed him anyway. Pop down. An easy exclusive trick is that move there. You can grab him on the easy difficulty, because one of the things that easy does is extends the reach of your wind bullet. Normal and hard both have the same distance, the standard distance that was in the PS2 version, but on easy it's extended, and it's extended enough so that you can grab that move, and it allows you to skip having to do this big circle around. I've never actually ran the easy difficulty. I really should at some point, just to do that trick. I've never done the trick because I've never done the difficulty. I have also ran the non-support mode version of this run, which obviously is the same game but without the use of Popka. I actually ran it very recently. Caro alluded to the run at the start. He said that Klonoa was a bit of a misfit mascot. Some of you may be familiar with a speedrunning group called the Misfit Mascot Relay. They're a relay team that hold Misfit Mascot Relays. They've done 3 game suggestions for their 4th one are currently open. And they gather a bunch of runners who all run different games with mascot games. They don't have to be platformers, but mascot-led games, which are somewhat forgotten. So you wouldn't see a Mario in there. You wouldn't see a Sonic game in there because they're not forgotten. They're very, very. They're seen a lot in speedrunning. We've already had a Sonic block in this marathon, and we've got another Sonic game tomorrow as well. So you've got things like Klonoa, Ape Escape, Rayman. There's some of the mascot games that you wouldn't normally see. Misfit Mascot Relay was at the start of this month, and I ran, and that's the second time that I've ran Klonoa to any % non-support mode for that relay. It's a really good time. It's a really good set of runners. It's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend checking them out. If you search for them on Google, you'll find them. They stream to BSG? Yeah, Benelux Speedrun Gathering. Yeah, BSG. All right, we get our second slider level. This is the Mountains of Mirror Mirror. There's not too much to say, but this piece of music is called the Wahoo Stomp. I'm just going to let you folks enjoy it. And sadly, that is the end of the Wahoo Stump, and the end of that level. Now we are going on to a rather special level. This is the Maze of Memories. This is a wonderful puzzle level. It's got a gorgeous piece of music to it, and some really interesting puzzles, and a couple of really cool glitches. And just look at the visuals of this level. They are just beautiful. I mean, the game looked beautiful on the PS2 anyway, but then to have this HD remaster, it really makes the game pop, and it's such a loving. There's so much love and work was put into this. It is still, we do believe that it uses the original Source engine. Sorry, the original Source. It's not built on Valve's Source engine. That was a misspeak. It uses the original source code of the game because it's identical to the PS2 version. It's just all of the textures have been remade in HD. We've got a really nice little skip in this room. We're supposed to use this Erbil to destroy that giant crab thing, but instead we can just take a damage boost and go through the door that it's guarding. Nice little time save, about 20 seconds that time save. Now we've got a really interesting glitch. For some reason, there's a bit of flaw here that doesn't work properly. So I'm going to grab him. I'm going to throw him through the floor and at that boomy and completely skip that entire puzzle. Why that piece of floor doesn't properly exist in the world, no one knows, but it's a really, really useful mechanic. And we're going to do another 2.5D abuse in a second, so I'm going to hop over here. I want to go this way, grab that Erbil and fly up. Use Popka and get through that door without having to go all the way around. We now have a really, really cool room here. Really tests your jumping and shooting ability. So use Popka at a couple of strategic points. Oh, I haven't quite got the air that I need to continue. Okay, we'll hold on there a second. That'll do. Very, very fast-paced this round. I'm going to use Popka again. Can I grab that? Yes, I can. And Popka once more. There we go. That was a little clumsy. That could have been a little neater on the way up. Weirdly, now that we've gone all the way up through that room, we now come into this room where we go all the way back down again. I mean, it's a beautiful sort of kaleidoscope of a room. But yeah, it seems a bit wasteful that we've gone all the way up in one room just to come all the way back down again in another room. Sadly, for this level, we're already moving into the final puzzle. We get this really cool puzzle. We need to grab a blue Aquari. And there's a bunch of different doors here to do so. So we're going to come in here, grab the boomy first of all. Popka does save us some time in this puzzle, which is really nice. Let's grab the boomy, take him into this door. I'm going to run into the Erbil door. Now that I'm in here, I'm going to throw the boomy, leave, and go back in again. If a boomy is about to explode and you leave the room, it will explode instantly. So that's not only does that save some time with the boomy exploding, the IGT pauses as we go through in and out of the doors. It's a really nice little time save, that one. We can now use the Erbil to get to the Aquari. Now, if we didn't have Popka, we'd have to immediately go back and grab the boomy, but we have Popka to help us get through this next bit. So I'm going to throw the Aquari, wait until the Aquari returns to my hand before going through the door, otherwise we lose the Aquari. Back into the booby room. This is where Popka saves us a little bit of time. I can get up here and back through here. Now we have our blue Aquari, so we can head back to the door. The door. At the Aquari door, the boomer door, the Erbil door, and then the door. And that is the end of the Maze of Memories. We're going to get this really big mirror where Lola, our companion, I haven't really talked about Lola. She's a priestess in training. She lives inside the ring. There is. You can see her following there. She has a bit of a crisis of confidence at this boss, and we've actually lost the ability to fire our wind bullets because she's the one who's actually firing out of the ring. It's this first part of Pelonte the Hatchling. It's our only dedicated slider boss. The final boss includes a salt glider section, but it's not exclusive. So we're just going to make our way towards. Make sure I don't get hit here. We'll grab these like square things, which speeds Klonoa up and allows him to hit Pelonte. So we're going to bash into him 3 times. That is going to hatch the hatchling. You can see it's like a giant egg that's being cracked. And one more crack. And now he hatches into Pelonte the hatchling. So we're going to do the same thing again, but this time when we reach Pelonte, instead of bashing into him, he's going to spawn a bunch of snowboarding moves. Those moves are going to come towards me one by one, and it is my job to grab every single one of them and throw them back. If I can do every single one in one cycle, then I'll beat the boss in one cycle. The next ones are kind of random as to which order they come in, and yes, lovely. That is a 1 cycle Pelonte. Very, very nice fight. But if you miss any of those, then you have to go through and do the speed up, do it again, get to the next set of enemies and throw. So that's a really, really nice time save there. Lovely. So we are now done here. We reached the bell of the Kingdom of Mirror Mirror. Unfortunately, Leorina got there before us, and she rang the bell and got given a dark element instead. Now, because Leorina has evil in her heart, that has a very, very damaging effect on the world around us, which we're going to see unfold a little bit more as we go into our next level. We don't know how Leorina was able to get the element, because only a priestess should be allowed to get an element. People who aren't priestesses shouldn't be allowed to get the element. How could Leorina have done it? We better go and talk to the head priestess again. So we're going to make our way through La Lacucha again, but this time it's called Noxious La Lacucha. And as with the previous retrek of the level, this does have its own special mechanic, which we will we'll see in the next room. Just going to wiggle there. So now, whenever we're inside, the air is filled with this horrible mist, and basically, Klonoa has an oxygen meter. If the oxygen meter expires, then Klonoa will take damage until he gets a KO. We can refill Klonoa's oxygen by traveling near the little statues. I need a super bounce here. Super bounce. There we go. Two attempts. That's good. Cannon. Once we get back outside, we're fine again. We don't have to worry. Super bounce? Nope, that's fine. We'll just use Popka. And back outside, and we get a breather. We're gonna have our first intentional death next, with a little trick which is so much easier on this version of the game than the PS2 version. The PS2 version, of course, because it was the PS2, ran in 4:3 resolution. On this, it runs in 16:9, so I can throw this Moo, hopefully. Nope, never mind. We will use the Laquari instead. Try again. There we go. Throw a Moo across the room there to hit that clock. Just run back outside. Drown in this Vimto. I'm assuming it's Vimto, and then respawn over there. We're going to use the same at about 2.5 D abuse trick that we used the first time around. Very quickly get through some of this level. Oh, super bounce. It's nice. We get to keep the quarry as we go into this next room, which on non-support mode that would actually save us a little bit of time. Right, I'm just going to use it there so that I don't have to go onto that platform. Back inside again. Don't know, use Popka. Oh, nope, messed up. Okay, we'll just go around this way. Grab that moo, jump. It's Popka. There we go. Beautiful. Again. Oh no, I don't want to. I don't want the worm to eat me. That would be nasty. Again, using Popka to completely ignore some of the puzzle mechanics. We just need to break one block here. So throw. There we go. Start making our way over to where the why the High Priestess's church is at the end of this horrible labyrinth. I don't know. It's almost like they don't want anyone to come and see them. As we said earlier, the reason we're here is to try and find out why Liarina, who is not a priestess, has been able to get something that only a priestess could get. And surprise, surprise, the answer is because she used to be a priestess in training. I mean, it's pretty obvious answer. I'm not quite sure why the heroes couldn't work that out for themselves. Yeah, she used to be a princess in training, and now she is going to try and get another dark element back in the Sea of Tears. We are returning to the very first level that we did. However, it's nighttime now. It's very dark, and so it's now called the Dark Sea of Tears. They say that some of the naming conventions in this game are pretty on the nose. It's dark, so Dark Sea of Tears. It's pretty, yeah. Not a lot of thought went into that one, I don't think. So we kind of have another sort of oxygen-like mechanic. There's these new little flying bug enemies that I keep hitting and getting light from, and slowly as darkness creeps in, it will start to attack Klonoa. So we need to keep the light on at all times. We've got a really nice skip here, hopefully, if I can get it right. It's quite tight. Beautiful first try to get across that gap. That's really nice. You see a ledge in the background over there. Without that big trick there, we'd have had to go round all of that, round the back. But that's a really nice trick. That's another support mode exclusive trick. I love that trick. That's a big shout out to speedrunner called Axel, who was watching me stream, and I thought to myself, I wonder if you can use Popka to get over here, and it turns out you could. It was a well-known thing, and Axel taught me how to do it. He was just a viewer on my stream, and he told me what to do, told me how to do it, and he helped me learn it. It was one time that I've had a viewer on stream teach me a trick. He's a great speedrunner. Tends to run things like Neo and things like that. Really cool guy as well. Jump, keep jumping. Gonna reset the darkness. Say reset the darkness, get some more light. Probably the better way of explaining it. Slowly make our way through. We've finished with the boats, back into the cave. Do a little damage boost in this room. So you don't have to worry about trying to hit those enemies. The game wants you to grab some moves and just hit those armor moves a couple of times, but now we just damage boost through them. Reset the light again. Can completely ignore everything in this room by just using this heli to fly over the top of the area, and into the final room of this area. Pop her up here. A cannon to get over to the final island and over to the bell. Hopefully we have got to the bell before Liarina, because who knows what's going to happen if Liarina gets this element. We have to stop her. Who knows what will happen to the world if we fail? She's already there. We failed. So unfortunately, Liarina does get her element. A great darkness falls upon the land, and for some reason she is able to drain the Sea of Tears. The Sea of Tears is now completely drained, and it opens up a gateway to a forgotten kingdom. I won't say the name of the kingdom yet. I'll wait till we get there. But this is kind of building up to the climax of the game, heading into the final kingdom. And I love the music of the Empty Sea of Tears because it uses Klonoa's theme. That tune is Klonoa's theme, but it has a bit of an edginess to it, a bit of an urgency to it, and I love the way that the game has been quite whimsical and funny and cute this whole time. But now, like, you know, Liarina has succeeded. She has opened the gateway to the final kingdom, and everything's going wrong. We've failed to stop her. And the music reflects that. It shows the urgency of Klonoa's situation. And again, I said that I'd gush over the soundtrack throughout the game, and this is just another opportunity to do just that, gush over this fantastic soundtrack. So, you know, the slider level, we've really enjoyed the slider level so far. The last slider level was the Mountains of Mirror Mirror. It was really funny. I just let you listen to the really cool music. But, you know, now, actually, it's a bit serious. We need to be a bit more, you know, concentrating. And if you're doing a 100% run of this, it requires you to get every single gem in the game, or dream stones, as they're actually called. They're technically not gems. They're not gems. They're not rupees. They're technically called dream stones. And the slider levels can be a bit annoying to grab them. But this one in particular really starts to sort of throw you a little bit. I've not done a 100% run of the game. I have done the All Visions category of the game, which is requires you to get all of the Mommet dolls, because getting all of the Mommet dolls unlocks 2 bonus visions, which you do the whole of the game, collect all of the Mommet dolls, and then just before you fight the final boss, you go off and do the 2 bonus levels. And that's a really interesting category. That's the most painful Mommet doll to try and grab. It's quite tricky to grab. We'll move into the last room. It is quite a short level, nowhere near as long as either of the two slider levels we've done before. Over these very weird teeth-like holes in the floor. It's a very, very weird aesthetic. We head to this big temple of bells. Not quite sure what it is. It's just a Temple of Bells is the best description I could give it. Watch out for the falling statues. We'll just tank our way through these. Only needs to tank one. And over in the distance we can see Ishwa's Ark. Ishwa's Ark is on a collision course with the final kingdom. So we need to try and put a stop to it. But before we can put a stop to Ishwa's Ark, we do need to put a stop to Liarina. And you remember what Liarina looked like? She was, kind of similar build to Klonoa, quite, a short little, kind of adorable character. There she is. That's Liarina. And now that's Liarina. This is Embryo Compass cursed Liarina. The evil magic that she has awakened has transformed her into this vile monster, which we must attack, and again in a very unique way, by using herbals to attack its belly. She's going to go into this attack. Use Potka to get up there, grab another one of those on my way back down. No, I'm going to wait for her to jump. Playing this fight a little bit safe. Hopefully I can get a quick hit in there? Yes, I can. That's a nice extra hit. She's going to go into phase 2 now. So we get some moves, and there's these glowing points on the floor. I can bop those into her belly. Got the next one. Oh, I'm going to have to wait for her to turn around. That's the RNG there. Didn't have a very nice placement for me. One more of these, and we're going to go into phase 3. Where we are going to see the true evilness within her as she turns from this white monster into this dark purple monster. So you know that she's really evil. Not subtle. This game, where you could not criticize this game for being subtle. This phase exactly the same as the first phase, just she jumps a lot higher and she's a lot more aggressive. We've got a really nice finish there, and that is Cursed Liarina defeated. That was a good boss fight. I'm pleased with that. She transforms back, and Ishra's arc takes us deeper and deeper into this forgotten world. So we need to put a stop to it because it is on a collision course. We need to be able to put a stop to it. So we're going to do the Arc Revisited. So of course, on the way in with the Arc, we switched it on. So it's only natural. Whoop, that's taking damage there is actually fine. I need to take some damage. Don't want to grab that health. Maybe. Should be alright. So we powered up the Arc the first time round, so of course it seems after on the way back we are now going to stop the Arc instead. Oh, come here. Grab the key that we need to get down. Drop down from this moon, and we're going to go to the 3 engine rooms again, and we have 3 opportunities to perform what are called engine skips. It is a very, very precise trick. Requires very, very good timing, and you only get 1 shot at it unless you make a complete mess of it and take a death. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and cause the game to think that the engine is exploding, but before a checkpoint is triggered. So I'm going to grab one of these moves, throw it so there's only 1 left, grab this boomy. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown it like that. I need to take damage. Okay, I'm just gonna reset this. Just wait for a second. Let that beam explode. I don't know if that'll. Yeah, it does kill those. I'm gonna have to wait. I need at least one of these fly moves to be alive because I need to take a death. Basically, we're gonna throw the moon into the engine. There's only 1 left. Let's do this. I've only got 1 health, so fly up and take a death. Now, if I have timed that correctly, I think I did, excellent! So I have been respawned back at the first checkpoint, but the game considers that the boomy successfully exploded the engine. So that is a successful skip. Normally what you would do there is you would explode the engine and then backtrack to the exits. So that was a really nice first engine skip. I say really nice. It took a little bit of setup because I kind of got the setup wrong, but we achieved it. That was still faster than backtracking. So I'm pleased with 1. It's been a very, very long time since I've got all 3. I've only ever gotten all 3 in a marathon run once. The second one is the hardest. Oh, that's a death. That's not an intentional death. That's me making a mistake. Fly over there. Now the second, I'm just gonna wait for the platform. There we go. Play it safe. Let's not take the risk again. Now the second one is the hardest, but thankfully the order in which they are hardest to easiest is also reversed on how much time they save. I.e. the easiest engine skip, the first one, saves the most amount of time, and the hardest engine skip, the second one, saves the least amount of time. So it's kind of nice that the game works that way. It's complete coincidence. It's these engine skips were not planned by any means. Need to throw that so that block is created. Go and grab this key so we can get into the engine room. You thought Klonoa maybe would have kept his keys from the first time round. Not very good at forward planning is Klonoa. And believe me, after organising this marathon, I know all about forward planning. So make our way into engine room 2. Now we do the engines in a different order. This was actually engine room 1 in the first level, which we skipped. We didn't come to this engine room in the first level. So let's see if we can do engine skip 2. I'm going to take a hit, so I've only got 1 health left. Jump up here, and I need to kind of do a... Oh, not like that. That's unfortunately cool. Oh, never mind. I hit the checkpoint as soon as we came into this room, so I can't do the engine skip anyway. That's actually beneficial because that death would have been a really big time loss. So you know what? I'm thankful that I forgot and completely hit the checkpoint when I wasn't supposed to. I say Engine Room 2 is the hardest one. You kind of have to do a drive-by. You kind of have to slide as you throw the moo and then try and hit the spiker below you. It is really tricky to get right. But as you can see, it doesn't take very long to get back outside in this one. We now got into this little on-rail section with the plane. It's being driven by Tat and Leorina. Leorina, after turning into a giant monster, has understandably had a change of heart about her evil intentions and has realised what the evil magic could do to her. So she's decided to now help us as we try and stop Ishra's Ark from crashing into this kingdom that she has revealed to us. We have to use the moves to break apart these dangling courgette. Like I said when we did Ishra's Ark the first time round that it isn't an organic ship, but quite what the purpose of these like spiky dangling courgette things are, I don't know. If anyone has any better suggestions for what they actually are, I'm all ears. But it's, yeah. They're very weird. We're never going to see them again. It's the only time that those things appear. Ooh, let's not get hit by the steam vents. And now we head back in. We're going to head towards engine 3. And this is the very start of the area. Well, when we were in. Let's ignore that. We don't need him. Don't need him. We can use Popka here, get over here, and just wiggle our way around that worm. I misspoke earlier. We're now heading towards the engine room that we skipped in the first area. We've got a really awkward room here. I never liked this room because of all these boomies. Ow. That wasn't very nice. Okay, we're through, that's fine. That room isn't too bad on a support mode run, because you can skip quite a lot of it. I've talked before about there being areas where you can despawn items by not hitting the floor. This is an area where we actually want to... Oh, that was close. We want to make sure that we do touch this bit of floor that I'm on right now, because not touching that bit of floor is going to despawn an enemy in the next section. It doesn't like make the game impossible or anything. It's just there's a neat little throw we can do to get through a blockade a bit quicker, but requires the enemy to actually spawn. I'll see if I can do it. It's a bit tricky. It's not a big time loss if I don't. Yeah, very nice. That is quite an exact hit. The explosion of the boomy is not very big at all. So you really do have to have that in the right area. Just going to throw that boomy at that, throw that at that. We need to make this Laquari red, so we're going to throw it at that one, throw it at that one, throw it at that one, and then completely ignore the puzzle mechanics to just jump up there. And head into the final section of Ishra's Ark Revisited. I've got another opportunity to do that really precise Popka jump, which I failed last time. Got it right this time, beautiful. And another neat little trick here, if I can get it right. Yeah. Yeah, oh, I didn't get it right, and I also died. That was awkward. Boomies have a maximum travel distance. If you throw a boomy across a room, eventually, after a certain amount of time, nice, it will just explode in the air, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Oh, I was a bit low. Okay, we'll just wait for it now. Yeah, by throwing it at the exact right point, it will explode just before it hits that block, saving us a little bit of time. So we're back out where I did that really big skip before. Oh, I should have jumped on that. That was slow. Ow. Ignore you. Just do that. We need to hit this checkpoint. That's the checkpoint we're going to try and engine skip back to. So I must make sure that I don't hit the checkpoint. Don't hit another checkpoint before the engine skip. Engine Skip 3 is it's not too difficult. It's not as easy as Engine Skip 1, but it is easier than Engine Skip 2. Hopefully, I'm usually happy if I can get 2 out of 3. As I said, only ever done all 3 in a marathon setting once. I think that was on the PS2. I think the trick was easier on the PS2. Let's take a couple of hits. Oh, we didn't. Oh, I mistimed the throw. Oh, it's giving me a pity life there. So unfortunately, I mistimed the throw. It didn't actually go into the hole and explode. So I just took a death. Unfortunately, that is the worst possible outcome of an engine skip. It does mean I have the opportunity to try it again. I'll try it one more time. Because normally the worst that can happen is if you throw it in and don't take the death quickly enough, then you just take a death, you respawn in the current area, because throwing the boomy in and causing it to explode. Let's get rid of that. I'm just going to wait here for a second because those are going to explode naturally. Right, that's going to be too slow. I'm going to respawn here. Yeah, there we go. So that's the other thing that can happen, where you throw it in too slow, the checkpoint is triggered, and when you respawn, you just respawn in the room you're already in. So only one engine skip, unfortunately. It is a very, very precise trick. The timing is down to a few milliseconds. You do not have a lot of time to get that trick right. Luckily, it doesn't take too long to get out of this room. Just a quick hop, skip, and a jump over here. Over that, and we are outside. And that is the end of Ishra's Ark Revisited. We are now going into the final phases of this run. We are entering the final kingdom, and this is the Kingdom of Sorrow. The Kingdom of Sorrow is not the longest level in the game. We've just done the longest level in the game. But I talked right at the start of the run about the pacing of the game and the difficulty curve, and I said that I'd come back to it. And this is the moment where we come back to talk about the difficulty curve again. This is the final standard platforming level in the game. After this level, we have one more slider level, and then we have the final boss. And at this point, this level throws every mechanic you have learnt so far, amps it up a little bit, and just make sure that you've been paying attention as you go along. It's got puzzles, it's got movement, it's got grabbing, it's got it all, baby. But again, I'm gonna gush over the music, because the music here, we've been doing this run now for a little over an hour, and the game, whenever I do this run, I always get to this point, and it has the music has this kind of plod to it. This bum, 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 and it's just this kind of, as I say, this plodding motion. This kind of, the game is sort of gearing you into the idea that it's almost there. You're almost done. You just have a little bit more to go. You can do it, Klonoa. I say that the music pairs up with the atmosphere and the feeling you have when you play this game so beautifully well. Again, the music is one of the reasons I fell in love with this game in the first place. It is such a beautiful game. And obviously, as I say, I've been playing it since 2001. It was my mum that bought it for me in the first place. This is a very, very special game to me. It holds a very, very special place in my heart. It's crazy that it's taken us until Pixel Perfect 4 for me to finally show it off. Come on. Grab that key. There we go. Hey, big spiker. Yeah. I absolutely adore this game. It is my favourite platformer of all time. It's one of my favourite video games of all time. Highly, highly recommend picking it up just for a casual play. And it's also, as you've probably seen, it's a relatively simple speedrun. For the majority of it is just about moving through the level quickly. There are some really interesting skips and glitches. The non-support mode run is easier because you don't have some of the more tricky things like the big first engine skip in the first Ishra's Arc level. So it's a really easy entry-level speedrun. It was my entry-level speedrun. This was my introduction to speedrunning with this game. Just gonna wait for Popka to respawn so I can bounce up there. And the other nice thing about the Fantasy Reverie series that this is included in is it's 2 games in 1. If you grab this, you also get Klonoa 1, or Klonoa Daughter Phantomile, which is a really, really good game as well. Daughter Phantomile has been shown at GDQ a couple of times. The original PlayStation 1 version has been, and SGDQ last year, it was the Fantasy Reverie version was ran by Mr. Shasta, and I got to be on his commentary couch for that run, which was really cool. I'm making a bit of a meal of this puzzle. This is what I mean about this level throws. That's better. This level throws everything at you. I'm going to wait for this move. He's going to fly all the way around and come back to the front. It's a bit of a frustrating moment, that puzzle, because it's not really a trick that we've had to use throughout the run. It's the only time really we do a sort of precise trick like that. Bounce up here, grab that one, and throw at that move, and then we can bounce and get through that crystal. One more crystal to get through. So yeah, it was great being on Shasta's couch for his run of Daughter Phantomile at SGDQ. Klonoa 2, sadly, has never been featured in a GDQ. I do submit it every year with the hope that it might get in. I'm not the only one who submits it. One day we will get Klonoa 2 into a GDQ. It would be awesome. But if you are interested in the game, as I say, it's a great game casually. There's loads to explore. Obviously, there's all the collectibles to get as well. But if you're interested in speedrunning it, the Klonoa community is an adorable community. They're fantastic. Some really, really talented runners in there, and they've always been super friendly. I jump in every now and again when I come back to this. Isn't a game that I speedrun very often, but when I jump back in for advice or to say that I've got an update for the Autosport or something, they're always fantastic. So you can find the games on speedrun.com, and you'll find links to the Discord server there. So I'm not far off. We're probably about 2/3 of the way through the Kingdom of Sorrow. Do a quick bounce there, and hope I don't get hit by this enemy. Again, even this late stage in the game, it's still throwing new enemy types at us. This boomerang type enemy, which I do believe is a nod to Klonoa 1. There's a very, very tight trick there where as those enemies spawn from that portal, you can grab the Jetamo straight away, but it's very, very precise. I'll be honest, I've kind of run out of things to say about this game. I've gone on and on about the different aspects. So let's have a look at another skip. That's good. This is really good timing. We're going to use Popka to do a trick here. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. So again, we abuse the 2.5D nature. These sort of lum things, I used the momentum of bouncing off the bottom one, grabbing the second one to give myself more height, and then using Popka to then fly up, and that saved a good 30 seconds. That jump, that was really nice. I love that trick. It looks really cool. There is one more trick in the game, which I'm really bad at. So I don't think I'm gonna do it. It's in the final room. The final room has a wraparound. If you can get up and above the left-hand side of the room, heck, I'll try it. I'm going to try it once. So we wiggle again. No, I didn't get up. I'm not gonna keep trying. Oh yeah, the platform doesn't. I gotta leave the room and come back in to respawn the platform. If you can get that jump right, it's very, very tight. If you can get that jump right, you can get up on top of the level environment, go over to the left-hand side, and as I say, you wrap around to the other end of the room and immediately finish the level. The annoying thing is there's no saves in the middle of levels in this run, and it's a trick that the moment you get that trick right, the level is over. So it's a really difficult trick to practice because it's right at the end of the level. There's no way of getting to the end of the level with a save except by doing the level. And the moment you get the trick right, the level ends. So if you want to practice it again, you have to redo the level. So yeah, not an easy speedrun trick to practice that one. But that is the final traditional platforming level. We have, let's say, two more levels to go. We've got a slider level, and then the final boss, who is the King of Sorrow. Every kingdom has to have a king, and this one is no exception. But to reach him, we're going to travel across the Forgotten Path. And again, just like the Kingdom of Sorrow level that we've just done, this level turns up the difficulty. It's very, very tight movement. There's some nasty. If you're going for 100%, there's some nasty gems. There's some flying gems that you only get like one chance to try and hit. It is the game asking the player. When you were having so much fun in that snowy level, you were bopping out to those tunes. Were you actually getting good at the mechanics? Because if you weren't, and you were messing around and just bopping out to the music, then this level's going to be a little bit tricky. There's only 3 rooms. Sorry, there's only 3 rooms in this level. It is a very short level. The second and third room are a little bit nasty. So I'm going to do my best not to fall off. I don't usually fall off, but it can happen. So we've got another one of these 360 rooms. We can go all the way around. Gravity just sort of ignores the laws of physics in this room. I don't know if gravity and physics exist in Lunatea, but clearly gravity does, because Klonoa falls towards the ground. But the ground is all around him here. There we go. The hitboxes of those spikers are really bad. You saw me just kind of go through it and didn't take any damage because, yeah, the hitbox is right at the center of it. So this is the last room. As you can see, very, very tight, winding route. And of course, I want to be holding up at all times to make Klonoa move a little bit faster. He does slow down when you turn, so I only want to make small adjustments wherever I can to save time. So it can be a little tricky. It's nice that we have Popka here. Popka can really help to save us if I do accidentally fall off. If I'm quick enough, I can use Popka to hop back on and prevent a death. Last little winding bit here. And that is the Forgotten Path. We move into the final boss, the King of Sorrow. However, so often throughout the game, during cutscenes, Klonoa has been hearing this dream voice. He's been the only person who can hear it. And the dream voice has been asking for help. What Klonoa doesn't know is that the whole time it was the King of Sorrow asking for help, because kind of the overlying theme of the game in the end is that the people of Lunatea... Oh, this is the King of Sorrow, except I don't know what this is. It is not explained what this thing... We've already met the King of Sorrow. We met him in the cutscene that just played. I don't know what this is. The game doesn't explain it. We just sort of white out, and when we wake up, we're on a board in this tunnel, and this thing is attacking us. I don't know if it's like a ship and the King of Sorrow is inside it, if it's some sort of security robot. As I say, the game doesn't explain it at all. It just appears, and we fight it. This is only the first section of this fight. We are going to fight the King of Sorrow directly. If my good pal Caro is there, time is approaching, but it is not. Time is not when I defeat this boss. And then the King of Sorrow himself has 2 phases, like most of the bosses. So it'll be the second time I deplete his health. So I think I've got one hit left. Yep, so that's the first phase over. We go into the second phase to fight the King of Sorrow, and this returns to the more traditional circular arena fight. Yeah, looking heroic with that Pac-Man hat. So this is it, final boss, King of Sorrow. Come on out, Popcar. So we're going to throw these things at these balls. Going to hit every single one of them twice. That'll end phase 1 of his fight. So that's not quite phase 1. Come on. These do eventually disappear. So that was phase 1. We now move into phase 2, it's just a little bit faster, and time will be on the final hit. So please get ready on that timer. It's 3 hits for each of these. You can see they're a lot faster. Ow. They also hurt if you don't hit them. 1 more hit on each, and time! Good job, Klonoa.
GG.
Ooh, final IGT of 1:14:45, which isn't too bad. I'm quite happy with that. I'm assuming my RTA is somewhere around 140.
137.50.
That's pretty good. I'll certainly take that for a marathon run. So he was the King of Sorrow, and as we learn, he's the one who's been calling for help. We'll quickly skip this and move on to the credits, just so that the credit music plays, because it's another really cool soundtrack. So yeah, that was Klonoa 2 Lunatea's Veil. As I said, if you like the look of this game and you want to speedrun it, then go find the game on speedrun.com, and you'll find all the help you need there. It's a wonderful game, as I said, childhood favourite of mine, and I've absolutely loved it. Of course, I've been Nick RP Green. I am one of the staff members here at Pixel Perfect. I hope you've all been enjoying the marathon so far. We've got one more run for you this evening, but I'll let Caro talk about that in just a second. Then, of course, we still have another whole day of speedruns tomorrow. So make sure you click that follow button so that you know when we go live tomorrow. With that, I will hand it back to our wonderful host.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. GG's on the run. That was, of course, Pixel Perfect staff member Nick RP Green taking us through past midnight Central European time. It has literally just gone 11 p.m. where I am. And that means we are just about to wrap up day 1 of Pixel Perfect Marathon 4. But before then, we have a final run and a return to the cute animal themed the cute animal themed nature that introduced, I guess, this little unintended mini block of things. We have Alara coming up with Cat Quest. She'll be taking us through that shortly. That is the any % current patch no turbo run. We're going to take a quick intermission and we'll be back in a few. See you then.